First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out here and celebrating the 25th anniversary of We Feed Our People. As we sit out here and shiver in the cold, we must remember that not all of us have a choice to leave at the end of the day. And that's why we're out here. Thanks for everybody's donations of money, food, and time. I'm sure the people that receive it are receiving it in love. And without further ado, I would like to introduce you to the leader of our city, the Honorable Vincent Grant.
Everybody clap your hands. I am delighted to be here this afternoon as we celebrate the 83rd birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King. I'm delighted to be here with our Congresswoman who represents us on Capitol Hill in the House of Representatives every day, Eleanor Holmes Norton, and the chairman of our council, who came on the council when I came on the council now about 7 years ago, and he came on as an at-large member. I was a member in Ward 7. He is now chairman of the Council of the District of Columbia. Kwame Brown, how about a big hand for Kwame? All right. You know, I want to thank all of you all for coming out here today, and I especially want to thank the Qs for being out here. Omega Psi Phi. That is the spirit of service. We have some 5,000 volunteers who are working all across the city today. Earlier this morning we were at Dunbar High School where there were about 1,000 people who were being deployed out to do some work at Dunbar. Others were doing work at SUM, which of course serves people who are homeless. They were going around the corner to the Boys and Girls Club #2, and they also were going across the street to the charter school right across from Dunbar in order to be able to help out. And that is the spirit that Dr. King stood for. And I want to thank you all for coming out today to be able to reach out, especially to people, as you heard before, who may not have a choice but to be out in this cold at this point. Thank you all very much for doing that. And I also want to remind you of one other thing, and that is Dr. King stood for justice, he stood for equality, he stood for democracy. And we need to bring democracy to our nation's capital, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for us to be able to have a vote in Congress, to be able to control our own budget, to pass our own laws, and yes, to be the 51st state in the nation, but it won't happen unless we stand up for it. Now, it's cold out here, so I'm not going to read this entire proclamation. But I do want to read one of the whereases and then the bottom. Whereas the MLK Day of Service is a way for all to become involved through projects that strengthen our communities, empower individuals, and bridge barriers. Now, therefore, I, the Mayor of the District of Columbia, do hereby proclaim January 16, 2012 as Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service in Washington, D.C. And I want to thank everybody who's here and call upon those who are not to come out and serve next year. We want to be a day when we want to be a city where everybody comes out and helps those who need help. Thank you all very much.
Mr. Mayor! Mr. Mayor! Thank you! Thank you! For our occupied site! For our occupied site!
My name is Walter McGill, and I'm one of the original founders of this effort. 25 years ago, a couple of friends, or several friends of us, wanted to do something that commemorated this day, both in celebration and service. And I got to tell you that my heart is really full with joy that 25 years later, This isn't your first trip, Mr. Mayor, so I thank you for coming out last year, but 25 years later, we've got some of the most powerful people in the city to come out and see it. But more importantly, I see young people out here who 25 years ago weren't even born and are a part of this effort. But I have to say this is also a very bittersweet moment because I guess in our idealism we felt that 25 years later this would not be a problem that we would have to address. So please let us not forget in our moment of celebration, as Brother Fortson said, that we're going to go home to warm homes and warm food and loving people, and a lot of people won't have that option. So let this not be our only day to commemorate the work of Dr. King and all of those other people. Let us make this a 365-day endeavor, both for justice, economic justice, political justice, social justice, and human justice, absolutely. So thank you all so much for coming out. Thanks to the new volunteers, Quee Cooper, Aaron Jones, all of those who've come after us. We thank you to keep this going. And hopefully, last thing, 25 years from now, this will just be a celebration. We won't need to feed any homeless people. We won't need to pass out any warm clothes or anything like that. But we can just come out and enjoy ourselves in fellowship and celebration. Thank you very much.